Hello, and welcome back to the God the Artist podcast. I'm your host, Morgan McCarver, and today we have our first husband and wife writing team, and you are Lucas and Shauna Fishhaber. I hope I said your last name
You
correctly.
nailed it. Great
Yep.
job.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Lucas and Shauna. I am so excited to have a husband-wife team of writers on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is really exciting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you guys decided to write together and a little bit about your process.
Oh, man. Yeah, so it,
It all
I,
started 9 years ago.
yeah, 9 years ago. It started with our family, actually.
Yeah.
Mm,
So together with our kids, Shauna's parents, and, campfire stories, that kind of thing, bedtime stories. We had Saturday morning adventures that we did.
mm.
And this kind of developed into something a lot more. I one night telling the bedtime story, and I was like, "Oh man, that was really awesome!" And I was like, "I gotta write that down." And so I started writing it down. And I was like, "Oh, this is a lot of fun," and it just kind of took off from there. I kind of dove right into it, uh, where I just started writing, and Shauna came alongside me and began to help me turn it into what it is today. Um,
Mm.
so over the last, I mean, I think it was nine
I
years
think it was
ago.
nine
Yeah.
years ago that he actually
Yep.
sat down and wrote
Yeah.
like 2 pages, I
Wow.
think it was, is what it started out as.
Yeah.
And I just, I like to say I body blocked the children for a while so he had time to write. That was my whole role in the process when we started, or when he
Mm.
started, I should say. Um, And I think I know, God really just laid it on his heart to start. So
Mm.
my
Yeah.
my role was to give him the time to do that. And he just kind of dove in.
Yeah. It is real interesting because I'm an engineer.
Mm.
I chose my engineering degree because it was furthest thing from English class. So, and when I realized that I had this sort of burden to write, um, I, I didn't realize that in the past I had this interest as well about creating story. Sean and I have reflected a lot on the last 20 years, and we see where that has been
Mm.
along the way. So it's really neat and fun how God kind of works in your life and puts you in places that you really don't ever imagine you being at.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, so I was looking into your background. It looks like you are a nuclear engineer and an Army officer. From my standpoint, that doesn't seem like very creative outlets. So how did you kind of work your way back around to writing?
yeah. You know, Morgan, that's a great question.
He's always been a big dreamer. Like
Yeah.
always
Mm.
been a big dreamer. I mean, when we were dating, like he would just come up with these elaborate plans and things we were going to do, and he's like a good sell too. I'm like, yes,
Wow.
let's go, let's do that thing. And so I think I think he's always been really passionate about what's the word I'm looking for? He's a good salesman, and somehow that translated into being a good author, like a good writer. So,
You just know
um,
the right words to say, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
it actually is kind of a running joke that he he gets phrases wrong all the time, and we call them Lukeisms because he mixes phrases up while he when he's speaking, but when he has time to like sit and write, that's where the magic happens. So.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know where, like, the whole engineering and the army officer and how that even translates into creative writing,
It
but
does.
somehow it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, um, And I think this goes back to kind of one of the first points that we brought up, which is that it's something that God kind of laid on my heart.
Hmm.
And it's like what, when you are given something that, is kind of that calling, I guess you can say, he gives you what you need.
Hmm.
And so it just kind of grew from there. I had to learn a lot in
Of
order to know what
course.
I'm doing. Because when I first started writing, it was a tale. It was not a novel. It was written in a tale format, and I thought it was really awesome.
Hmm.
I suggested perhaps editing it would be a good idea.
She did. She
Yeah.
suggested I edit it, and then I said, no, I don't really want to do that. No, I was like, this is great. It's done. And she was right.
Well, that's amazing that you're able to work together. And I know criticism is hard, but I love what you said about God just giving you the gifts to be able to do that. I feel like we see that so much in the Bible of like Moses having a stutter and he's called to, be the spokesperson for all of Israel. And it's just amazing. And I think it's really encouraging for the listeners that you weren't really trained as a writer and you still became an amazing author. So that I think is really encouraging.
Yeah, yeah. I love what you said that, God gives you the gifts and it's important to pursue those. And really kind of put that time in and
Mm.
and do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the book. It looks like it's the first in the series, Gathering Storms, and the series is
Hmm.
called Age of Wonder. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in the book.
Yeah, so it's a hidden world awakening fantasy novel. And so at the very core, it's about a girl who longs for peace, but she must fight to save her forced home when a creature from the past, a griffin uh, from the forgotten past, awakens. And then through the book, she faces ancient powers, the ruthless Drakara, and the wilds of Solaris. And so that's kind of the core of what the book is about. And kind of on top of that, the world itself is kind of its own character in itself. There's
Mm.
this thing called the Great Event that happened 500 years ago. Nobody really knows much about it. The few that survived with no memory of before because of something called the haze. And now it's just a landscape that's littered with objects of the past that nobody remembers. And so we kind of get into the story of realizing that maybe the past is not completely buried.
Oh, wow. So is this setting like post-apocalyptic Earth, or is this a completely different planet, completely different land?
Yeah, yeah, no, great question. It's a completely different land, so it's a high fantasy type setting.
Okay.
So I guess you can say sword and shield, high fantasy. And it's in a world called Solaris. So it's completely new. Yeah.
So how was it like creating a world that no one else can really see? Were you having to describe it or draw maps?
We started, I think, yes, lots of maps, lots
Yeah.
of maps. Um, which that funny enough, that was a family activity during COVID or during the lockdown where the kids got really into creating maps. And I think
Mm.
that's kind of where, not where it started, but it's a piece of the puzzle. It's definitely a piece of the
Yeah,
puzzle is,
definitely. Hmm.
um, starting to draw out those maps. And um, I like that you brought up maps because ours has a bit of a twist where one of the characters, Amber's brother, is an aspiring map maker, and so the map in the book is his unfinished map.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so there's a little,
It's fun.
some fun lore there that uh it's in, you know, he's growing in his skill, and that's pointed out to him rather often in the book, that his map is not quite perfect. So
Oh, okay, okay. I like this.
yeah.
It's quite fun. And the world building piece, because yeah,
Mhm.
what you're talking about is totally from, scratch,
Yeah.
Hmm.
building the culture, the landscape, the feel of it, all of that is such an interesting thing, because you can go such a thousand different ways with it. And well, one of the things that I think we recognize is we started, 8 years ago, where we really started getting into the world building and all that kind of stuff. And there's been some pauses along the way of where we've taken a pause, we've rewritten some things, and I'm really glad that we were able to go through that process, because in order to discover those things that we didn't realize needed to be there, we had to wait for those things to
Hmm.
to for us to like realize and land on. And it's been so satisfying waiting for those things.
Oh, wow.
I akin to it like you are a miner, and when we every Friday we go to Starbucks to on our Friday dates. Both of us have Friday free, so we go to Starbucks and we spend time just kind of dreaming, world building on a topic, or whichever. And I akin it to where you go out and you start mining and you look for the gold vein. But in order to look for the gold, you need to mine, and you need to
Hmm.
do the work to do that. So, and then once you find that gold vein, you got to chase it. And then sometimes you lose it, and then you got to mine some more in order to chase it some more. So, it's been really fun.
Oh, wow. So, how do you work through like disagreements on what should happen or what culture is happening, things like that in the book?
I think this is where Luke's engineering mind and team management comes into play, because he truly is the mastermind behind it. I am very much a supporting role, and I've grown into that role. Like I said, when I started, I was only allowing time. Then he really invited me into the process.
Hmm.
And I'll be honest, it wasn't something that I saw myself doing. I really didn't have an interest in it. Um, but God worked in my heart to uh, bring me to a place where I'm willing to be whatever he needs me to be, whatever
Hmm.
God's called me to be for him, because and that's changed. So I started off giving, you know, just giving him feedback, like small suggestions, and then that grew into he unleashed me with a red pen, and it got intense
It's
quickly after
dangerous.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the red
I
pen's
can show you.
dangerous.
I actually, here
Oh
is a
yeah, yeah.
page
So
right
yeah,
here.
there you go.
This is
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah,
There you
so
go.
this is just the start.
She
That's
writes me
page.
nice notes.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, I pump him up too. There's good notes in here too, uh but yeah, so that's kind of how I think his engineering mind comes in, as well as with building the magic system in the world. It's pretty not scientifically based, but not.
There's a core there.
There's a core there, yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
been fun for my engineering mind to
Yeah.
come up with all this. But the disagreement side of things,
Yeah.
um, Morgan, I think it'd be a lot different if we hadn't, I guess, figured out earlier in our marriage about how we connect with one another.
Hmm.
When it came to our world building is such where it's, I mean, yeah, the possibilities of all, or the opportunities of all the disagreements to come up. Um, I, the first rule is you come into it with open hands and having to remember that it's not your story, it's God's story, and you're just trying to make it the best that you can make it. And that means that I may have an idea or a direction, but I may not have the whole complete puzzle piece. And so, um, and there's been countless times where we've talked about something, I suggested something, and we've discussed it, and she she comes up with all the she's the tactical side of things. She has all the detail and the awesome like dialogue and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just so neat how our strengths and weaknesses really overlap with one another, and those disagreements are always so easy to navigate because I think we both have that at our heart, just making it try to be the best that it can be.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. So you're talking about your faith, and I love that you're both incorporating your faith into the book. How does that play into it? Is it like an allegory? Is there symbolism? Is Christianity part of the culture in this fantasy world?
Yeah, this was a really, we really talked about this a lot, especially at the beginning when we started to write the series. So we decided to not go the allegory route, and and so the world itself doesn't have a like Christianity faith piece. So the best way to explain is Lord of the Rings compared to Chronicles of Narnia.
Hmm.
So what we wanted to instead was go the um, where the story that we write is wrapped closely in certain Christian principles. It's like if Christianity is a diamond, like all of Christianity itself is a diamond. Our story represents only certain facets of that diamond.
Mm.
Um, so that's kind of the place that we wanted to go, where someone reading the story will experience one of those facets.
Yeah. It's a whisper.
It's a whisper, yeah.
Yeah, that really like draws you in though, right? Because it's not blatantly obvious in your face. You're really kind of having to search through the book for things like that.
Yeah, and I love the opportunity to show rather than tell, and
Mm.
just show the story, show what happens, and let the reader figure out what's going on, let the reader digest and think through kind of the what's happening. It's been amazing to craft these character arcs and what's happening. It's been really amazing to do that.
Oh, cool. So, from my understanding, the book has been out. Have you heard from any readers or fans yet?
We have heard from a few, and
Cool.
but it's like a huge feedback. They're so nice. It's such a pleasure to hear the feedback of um, you know what they take away from it, and kind of the fun journey that they go
Yeah.
on.
What characters they're connecting with.
Yeah,
It's been different, I think, every time too.
yeah.
Mm.
But the feedback has been very positive and quite exciting. It's been multiple times referred to as an appetizer.
Mm,
and where book two is going to be the first entree.
okay.
Um, but there is there is some disappointment that book two is not out yet. So
Right, right. Do you have plans for that? Is it in the works?
yeah, it is in the works. We have been working on it quite a while actually,
Mhm.
but in a good way. And so, but we are kind of at the end, finishing it up. Hopefully, at the end of the year, um,
Wow.
that
Awesome.
we're finished with
With the
the yeah,
manuscript.
beta readers. We'll need beta readers for at the
Cool.
end
Yeah.
of the year. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's a third, it's a trilogy, I guess, right? Did I read that?
Well, we're going after 5 books.
Mhm.
Wow, okay, so that's more than three. Do you
Yeah.
have the whole story mapped out already, or do you like change it based on the response of the reader? How do you guys navigate that?
Yeah, I think ever since 8 years ago, I've had the ending in my mind. Um, and so it one of the stories we were in the living room as a family late one night. We were building a story together, one sentence at a time, and I think the kids were. This was 8 years ago, so the kids were much younger, and one of them uh, added to the story a certain element, and I was like, "This is amazing." And it took the book I was doing and totally made it into 5 books.
Whoa.
He was the reason why it
Wow.
became so big. And yeah, so it's been 5 books this whole time. And we also have other ones in mind of other stories I would like to do.
Like prequels or something completely different to this world?
Yeah, prequels,
Prequels.
kind of
Hmm.
why was a great event, what why to happen. So a story about that, and then there's a particular character that we want to um, discover some more, and then there's a father and mother type story. It's the story is very family centric.
Hmm.
So we wanted the story to be have that foundation. Since it did kind of come from a family, we
Right.
felt that was important. So, um, you
Yeah,
know,
we wanted people to feel like when they walk into the homestead, they're sitting at the table. They're part of the
Hmm.
conversation. They're, telling jokes and,
yeah,
you know, reliving glory moments and all the things right along with the family. So
yeah.
that is
Oh,
a,
cool.
So of course, me and Shauna, we each have our own character in the book too. So, and of course, there's a story about how we uh, find each other in this world.
Oh,
'Cause-
cool. Okay.
it
Nice.
does not at
How
all look
true to life.
like it did in real life. Not at all.
yeah,
So
yeah, no, it really doesn't. Yeah, definitely not. Yep.
That's funny.
yeah.
And your kids have characters in the book as well?
Yes.
Inspired. Yep.
Oh,
Inspired by
cool.
Yep.
it. Yeah. In fact, it was really cute when they were little and we would read little snippets. They were little and these characters are, much older. They're teenagers and they're,
Yeah.
Hmm.
they're single digits and they're like, but mom, I would never say that. I would never say that. It'd be some little snarky comment and they'd get all offended. So it took a while for them to realize it's actually not you. Like it's not
Right.
Yeah.
actually you saying these things or doing these things because they say and do things that they would never
Yeah.
do. So but mannerisms, some little there's hints of them in them.
Yeah. At the core of
Hmm.
who they are is kind of there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Have they read the first book yet?
They
they
have.
have.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And the response, they liked it?
they liked it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of our sons wants to be a writer also.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. I
Yeah.
love how it's such a family effort too. Like a family story. the family, all the families involved. I think that's um, something that we've kind of lost in this culture today, in America at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Families are important.
Hmm. So, is there a part in this world where you're like, man, if I could live on this part of this island or this land, this is where I would live?
I have to stick to book one, don't I? I do. Yeah. Um, I mean, I would like to see Thunder Ridge.
Hmm.
That's the hometown of
It's like a mountain valley
the main
village.
characters, and yeah, it's a mountain valley village, and it's just, like it's just rich, and there's unique creatures, and interesting flora and fauna that exist in the world, and the kind of the ideas that you can encounter all of these things, and um on a simple walk in the woods, and I would love that. That would be so fun.
Yeah, it's like a woods where there's a sporadic violet mist that kind of
Mm.
moves along the ground, and the forest itself lights up at night a little bit wherever the mist touches, and it's pretty magical. It's awesome.
Oh, wow.
I think my area would be, I'm going to say two places.
Uh-oh.
So, um, but there's a place called Veritas. It's the capital city of the region, and this place is it's generally white stone, and it's a place of more scholarly things. A lot of trade happens, but the most interesting thing is that there's a river that runs through the city, and the city sits on a cliff, and it's a 1,000-foot cliff, and the river ends, and there's a huge waterfall at the edge of the cliff too, but the city's split by the river, and right in the middle, because there's a causeway that goes right at the edge of the cliff, that you can go right out into the middle of the river where the more capital area is, and then you can go to the other side as well. But a very sort of that ancient feel, history. Um, and then the second place would be in the desert called Hatra. And
Mm.
Hatra is a very, because a lot of their story, our world is, we wanted to go into our world and take elements of different cultures and
Okay.
really bake those into different regions.
Mm.
And it's been such a joy because there's so many interesting things of how what interests people, how people have done festivals, and all these things.
Hmm.
And so Hatra is that sort of Arabian style um, desert city,
Oh,
and it
cool.
sits on the Vera River, and it's this beautiful river that runs through the city, and um, and the most interesting thing about Hatra is that they have, of course, spices are a big thing, but the biggest thing about the city is that they have a lantern festival
Mm.
where they take um, they make lanterns out of like thin glass that can float on the river, or do the more like paper lanterns that float in the sky. But these are kind of lanterns where people spend multiple hours working on throughout the
Months and
year,
months.
months, yeah. And they make like, a bird or a whale, or, just really taking their time to make something special.
Mm.
So,
It's very
Wow.
tied to memory,
Oh,
yes.
so
cool.
remembering a special event, most of the things that happen in our world have some sort of a tie to memory, because going back to that, missing pieces of 500 years ago, so much was lost that memory becomes so important.
Yeah,
Mm.
and so the one of the, I think, the most unique elements about our world that is something called spark glass. And so Shauna was mentioning memory, where uh, memory was lost from the past. And there's something called spark glass, which comes from a spark. And it's when a spark, if you can imagine, kind of like an ember floating in the sky, and when the ember touches something or touches a person, based on the size of that ember, it captures that moment in time.
Hmm.
So if you can imagine, it would capture a person's five senses, and then also
Oh.
what kind of their emotional experience of what they just lived through.
Hmm.
So when a person, so that forms spark glass, and so when a person touches that spark glass, another person, they would experience that memory as if their original person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's been a really
Yeah.
fun,
Dreaming up those moments
yeah,
that live in spark glass.
and especially as a storytelling device, it's been a lot of fun.
Is that the spark glass, is that something that the character would hold on to, or is that like a currency as well?
Yeah, so these things are rare. Sparks are rare, and spark glass especially is. And of course, are they true memories? Are they deceptive memories? Um,
Mm.
yeah, the currency would definitely be huge because they also don't last forever either. Every time a person touches one, it loses its ability to recall that memory.
Oh, okay. So I've heard that. And that's like a scientific theory uh, on Earth, right? Something about like the more you think of the same memory, the less true it becomes, or something. I
I
can't
don't think
remember
I've read
exactly
that
what it was.
before, but that is fascinating.
Fascinating.
Morgan, tell me
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not the scientific person to be telling this. But if I remember correctly, it's something along the lines of like you're remembering like a specific event, like a family vacation or something. And the more you think about it, like the first time you're remembering it, and then the second time you're remembering the memory of it. And so the more it's transposed, the more you remember it, the later it gets, the more apt you are to change things and not realize it.
Oh,
I don't know. It's kind of
fascinating.
a trippy, I know. I'm like, so am I not supposed to remember the favorite things, or like what am I supposed to do with that information? But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I need to look more
Ooh,
into that.
I do too. I'm
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
fascinated. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have just given us idea. So,
Oh. Well, cool. I really want to go to this land. It sounds really special and magical with the waterfalls and the different festivals and things. Do you experience different cultures, or are you mainly in one culture while you're in the book?
Book one, you're mainly exposed to two
two
cultures, I
cultures.
would
Yeah.
say. Yeah, just
Okay.
two cultures. So like the village culture and then that of the Drakara. So um yeah, book one is like we kind of mentioned, it's a bit of a snack that's going to build into um a much, you know, book two is going to really blossom the world. The map's going to grow essentially.
Mm,
A
So
lot.
yay,
Book
cool.
two is already twice the size of book one.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Book
And
one's it's fast paced, takes place over about a month, I think. And it's,
hardly three
yeah,
weeks.
3 weeks
Mhm.
and it's over. But building into another book that's going to take a much longer time frame to
It's a
get.
very character-driven story
Hmm.
with that kind of just places you right in there with the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a lot of characters to meet and growing the world I think is going to be really fun over the next few books. So,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, and I haven't even read it. So I'm sure your readers are just chomping at the bit for the second book.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see this turning into like a TV show down the road, or movies, or anything
I would
that way?
we would love to see it
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I
was,
think we already kind of see it that way a lot. And even the way he writes, almost
Mm,
on the page, it it reads so vividly that you can see it.
mm,
So,
yeah, what we discovered, we're not trying to copy anything. And what we've kind of discovered is that there's, um, it's almost kind of written like a screenplay in a
oh,
way.
cool.
Um,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the best way I can describe it. There's a lot more white space on the page than typically
mhm.
of what you would see in other books. Um, but because of that, I get to play with the pacing a lot more. I get to really just focus on the things that matter.
Mm,
Uh, and so, and it's funny that you say something about a show or a movie. Um, on the way to work the other day, I was actually dreaming up of how I'm going to go to Netflix and go to their boardroom and give them an awesome presentation about why they need to produce our story. So,
yeah. Yeah. I love it. You're right, Shauna. He's a dreamer. But I
yep,
love
yep,
it. I love it. Why not?
Mhm.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. You know,
You dream big.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You just go for it.
So, speaking of dreaming big, where do you see your legacy in all of this?
Ooh, legacy. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
You know, I think it would be a shame if the legacy is not tied to the thing that matters the most.
Mm,
So, you know, all for the glory of God. That's what matters the most. And I would hope that um, I'm giving him the right credit that he's due, and I hope it's noticeable.
mm,
And so the legacy that we would like to leave, I guess, and I'd be interested to hear what Shauna has to say. Um, but the legacy, I think, would be number one, just something special for our kids.
mm,
Uh, something special for our family. Um, it's been great to honor the spirit of our kids in the story, and because there's moments that I've written where they're in my mind, um and they're great moments, and
mm,
There are moments that you feel,
yeah,
and that's, I know, they've been very important to both of us as we think through scenes and think through the books, is that you walk away feeling something. You
mm,
feel you feel inspired, you feel different, motivated, whatever, and that's going to depend on what, the characters and what they're going through as well. But um having those connections, I think, and um I lost my train of thought a little bit there, but just being able to really share in those impactful moments, and um, being true to the story that God has placed in Lucas's heart and in my heart, and um, we can only tell the story that He gives us,
yeah,
mm.
and um, our hope is that that would be what people see, and that they would resonate with that.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We've baked so much, the things that are kind of at the core of the story is mercy and wonder,
Mm,
and we just, we're, I think, as long as we are working heartily as for the Lord, not for men, that we're doing it for Him. And when we are doing that, that overflows into, how we treat others.
mm.
But yeah, just focusing on that, I think That's the thing that I think we're most concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said, both of you. What would you say the hardest part about being a Christian author today is?
Hmm. Hardest part. we
Yeah, so Sean and I were talking about this before we got on,
Yeah.
and we both were like, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. I think the hard part that I know I get into a lot is you start questioning yourself. You
Mm,
start questioning, am I doing everything that I need to? Am I, um, you know, the marketing thing? Did I put as much time as I should have? Do I need to take my time and invest that in my kids? Should I take that
mm,
time and keep writing the story? Do I, and so there's so much tension there, and it's hard to navigate that, um, because God wants you to till the soil. He wants you
mm,
to do the work, but there's a point at which you can only do so much, and
right.
you have to rely on the Lord for the rest. But where's the line? Where is
Yeah.
that point? You don't want to totally wear yourself out or anything like that. And so that's been Shauna's heard me just talk all around this. But where's the line? And it's
And I think the answer is that it shifts
yeah,
Mm,
it definitely
to
shifts.
be,
Yeah.
because every stage of life is going to require something different from you. So being willing to, sideline things that need sidelining. And sometimes that's the book, and sometimes that's, setting aside time to be working on it. So,
Yeah. And there's plenty of things that I've had to say no to
yeah.
that would have been great, that you know I can do that. I just need the time, but I needed to stay focused. So
mm,
lots of prayer involved there.
yeah, for sure. Shauna,
That's
are you
probably
on
the
the,
hardest. Yeah.
yeah, I bet. Shauna, are you on the same page with him or do you have something different?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I think finding like your best yes. What can I give my best to? And I because as he said, being a Christian author is or a Christian in a creative space is exciting. So I think that is the challenge of, really, you know, making sure that it's not at the sacrifice of something that
Mm,
would be more glorifying to God.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, and Morgan, I think that at the heart of your question there might be something like, uh, being a Christian artist in today's world, you may be motivated to maybe do things that you shouldn't be doing.
Mm,
Maybe putting elements into our story where it, the things that just shouldn't be there, where it doesn't add value to the story whatsoever, and it takes away from honoring God.
And
mm,
not even that it's something that shouldn't be there, but it's
Yeah.
being pressured or influenced,
Yeah.
taking the opinions of others too far,
mm,
where you're no longer telling your story. You're
mm,
telling what you think somebody wants your story to be.
Or trying to write to the crowd,
mhm,
or,
So finding the balance of, taking feedback, taking criticism and learning and growing from it, but not letting it go so far that it changes the core of what you intended to do at the start.
or trying to trace some trend, you know, um, looking at others, comparing yourself to others, thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Um, and instead just focusing on doing what you were meant to do.
mm,
Uh, you know, so yeah, it's definitely, I would say, difficult.
Mhm.
But at the same exact time, it's just so exciting, because isn't that how it kind of is when you're on the journey of uh, doing something for the Lord? You don't know where it's going to go.
Mm. Yeah, of course. I love that you guys have that perspective. I think so many times on the show when I ask this question, our brothers and sisters in the faith usually are jaded, or isolated, and I definitely have felt that way too. Of when you say that you're a Christian artist, you're no longer valid as an artist. You're only really valid as a Christian in the Christian world. Um, and so to hear that it's exciting, I think is just such a breath of fresh air and such a good reminder that like there's so many references in the Bible of God specifically calling people to make artistry. And we forget that that's actually an occupation. You
Yes.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, our original job description was gardener, and I would say that's a form of artistry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. The world like takes that away from us that art isn't a real job or we have to, make the most money we can or like you said, listen to the voices and write the book that you think will sell instead of the book that should be written. And I'm so glad
And
you guys are encouraged
yeah,
by that.
yeah. And I think, to add on to what you're saying, Morgan, uh, it's such an interesting time that we live in, because 20 years ago, you had like 10 options. Now you have 10,000 options.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
probably not, yeah, yeah. Um,
It's its
and
own type of challenge.
right, yeah, well,
For
there's
sure.
that.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that is that the ability to not only create content that is honoring, um, but to make that quality and to
Mm,
really make that where it's a story that people resonate with. Um, that's I see so many examples of, people that have stayed true to their faith and make something amazing. And there's so many options out there now, and
mm,
that are crowding out all the junk and the noise and the stuff that is, uh, that you don't want your ears to consume, or your eyes. But it's but that wouldn't be there if people didn't take that step to do it.
right. Oh, for sure. And your book, I can't wait to read it. It sounds amazing, especially that you're not, like you said at the beginning, I don't think you used the phrase forcing Christianity down people's throats, but essentially you're letting that kind of be found instead of forcing that. And I think that that is one of the great elements of a Christian artist is being able to kind of weave that in so it is a seamless story. And I am just so excited to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can't wait for you to read it.
Yeah.
Yay! And for book two coming out hopefully
That's
at the end of
right.
the year. Yeah.
Song of the Forgotten is what we're calling it.
Okay, The Song of the Forgotten. Oh, I like that. That makes me, yeah, want to read it even more. Cool. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a good conversation tonight. I'd love to just let you guys have the final word. Any advice, encouragement you want to leave with the viewers, and then the best place we can go to find your book and connect with you guys.
You want to start with the encouragement then?
Well, I think that all art is meaningful. So whatever you are into, just keep going. I mean, if it's just one word at a time, one brush stroke at a time, one, um uh sculpt at a time. I don't know. I can't think right now, but whatever it is, just don't give up on it. And it might seem small, and it might be small, but that's okay because there's beauty in the small things.
Hmm.
God created our world that way, and it's just such a blessing to get to participate in that.
Yeah. So sometimes it's well, okay, I'll reframe that. A lot of the times it's the small things that
Yeah,
matter.
it is the small
And
things.
which is, side note, another one of the elements that we really like to bake deeply into our series is that it's the small
Hmm.
things that matter. And so, yeah, 100% of exactly what Shauna said. Make sure you're doing it for the right reason. Don't do it because, you're getting on the hamster wheel of the world and just trying to, um, you know, satisfy some, money thing or whatever. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reason. And, um, and for the story itself, Gathering Storms is available, so you can find it everywhere. And we have ebook is
Mm-hmm.
available, paperback, hard copy, and we also have an audiobook that'll be coming out in October.
Mid-October, yep.
Yes, October.
Cool.
Awesome
Yes.
narrator. Can't wait for that. And book two is coming out.
Yeah.
That'll be great. And we also have a whole fiction within fiction thing where we've created bedtime tales for families to listen to together. And we
Hmm.
have narrator doing that too. And we'll be doing like YouTube but you can
Spotify.
find us anywhere: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We try to keep up there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to hearing you next time for book two.
Morgan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.